Hello friends, today we start our new unit, that means biomedical electronics. In this particular unit, we can discuss about these contents. First one, we discuss about introduction. Then what is electronics? Then what is meant by electrodes? Then which are different types of electrodes? What is exactly anatomy of heart? What is meant by ECG? What is the block diagram of this ECG? And how this ECG can be work? First of all, we can discuss about what is bioelectronics. In this bioelectronics, we can study with biology as well as electronics. This biology is nothing but in which we can discuss about the biological structure of the human body, and the electronics is nothing but it is a branch of science in which we can discuss about different electronic components and how these different types of components can be used to study the biological structure, that means human body. That means in bioelectronics, it is defined as the use of biological materials and the biological architectures for the information processing system. And the electronic devices, specifically biomolecular electronic devices, we can use in this unit. Then, what is biomedical electronics? This biomedical electronics is the field in which one who can design electronic devices which measure and solve the medical and the health related problems by combining their knowledge of biology and medicine with the electronics engineering. What is electrode? What happened? We want to detect the signals from the human body. For that purpose, we require different types of electrodes. These electrodes are nothing but it is the sensors which can be directly touched with the body, and the whatever signals generated that can be detected by using these electrodes. When we can define what is exactly electrode, then electrode is nothing but it is a sensor or it is a conductor that carry the electricity. It is used to touch a non-metal part of the circuit. The two types of electrodes are one anode and second cathode. What is bioelectric potential? In certain system of the body, we generate their monitoring signals which convey useful information about the functions they represent. These signals are bioelectric potentials associated with the nerve condition, especially brain activity, heartbeat, muscles activity, and so on. So bioelectric potentials are actually ionic voltage produced as a result of the electrochemical activity of certain special type of cells through the use of transconducers capable of converting ionic potential into electric voltages. These natural monitoring signals can be measured and the result display in a meaningful way to aid the physician in the diagnosis and the treatment of the various diseases. What is equivalent circuit of biopotential or electrode interface? In this particular circuit diagram, we see two electronic components. First one is capacitor, second one is resistor. This capacitor is nothing but it is electronic component which can be used to store charges, while this resistor is nothing but it is electronic component which can be used to oppose the flow of current. Then when we can connect these two electronic components in parallel, then it is known as RC circuit. Similarly, one resistor and power supply, when we can connect it in series with this RC tank circuit, then it is equivalent circuit of biopotential electrode. Then which are different types of electrodes which we can use in biomedical electronics? First one is microelectrodes. These microelectrodes are used to measure potential within the cell or the near the cell. Then metal microelectrodes. These are the formed by electrolytically etching the tip of a fine tungsten or the stainless steel wire to the desired size. Then micropipette electrodes. Here a glass or the micropipette with the tip drawn out to the desired size contains an electrolyte compatible with the cellular floods. Generally, its size is near about 1 micron. Then there are again different types of electrodes such as skin surface or body surface electrodes. These electrodes are mainly used for ECG, EE and EMG. Then immersion electrodes. floating type of electrodes with the conductive path between the metal and the skin being electrolyte paste or jelly. Generally, it is a disposable type of electrodes. After functioning, it can be automatically melt. Various spray on electrodes and the disposable electrodes are available. Ear clip electrode for EEG, clip surface electrode for EEG. Then there are again needle types of electrodes are also available, which are used to penetrate the skin to record the EEG potentials or EMG potential of a group of muscles. They reduce interface impedance. A signal wire inside the needle serves as a unipolar electrode, which measures the potential at the point of the contact with respect to some references. Some of the needle electrodes are concentrated needle electrodes, bipolar needle electrodes, and monopolar needle electrodes. These disposable electrodes generally used in ECG, which converted into electrical voltage by using these electrodes. A typical surface electrode used for the ECG recording is which is made up of silver or silver chloride. The disposable electrodes are attached to the patient's skin and can be easily removed. This is the diagram of ECG. Generally, we know that heart is situated in the left upper side of our chest. This is the anatomy of heart. What is exactly heart anatomy? The heart is the hardest working muscle in the human body, which is located at the left side of the chest. The adult human heart is about the size of one fist. The cardiovascular system composed of the heart and the blood vessels. Four chambers, it consists of four chambers, two atria and the two ventricles that receive blood from the body and pump out blood to it. The atria receive the blood coming back to the heart and the ventricles pump the blood out of the heart. Blood vessels, which compose a network of arteries and veins that carries blood throughout the body. Arteries transport blood from the heart to the body tissue. Veins carries blood back to the heart. Four valves are used to prevent backward flow of blood. Each valve is designed to allow the forward flow of the blood, which prevent backward flow. An electrical system of the heart that stimulate the concentration contraction of the heart muscle. Then what is meant by electrocardiogram? This electrocardiography is the process of producing the electrocardiogram, that means ECG. It is the graph of voltage versus time of the electrical activity of the heart by using these electrodes placed on the skin. These electrodes detect the small electrical changes that are the consequence of the cardiac muscles depolarization followed by the repolarization. During each cardiac cycle, it changes in the normal ECG pattern occur in numerous cardiac abnormalities including cardiac rhythm disturbances such as atrial fibrillation and the ventricular tachycardia. In a conventional 12-lead ECG, 10 electrodes are placed on the patient's limbs and on the surface of the chest. The overall magnitude of the heart's electrical potential is then measured from the 12 different angles and recorded over the period of time. In this way, the overall magnitude and the direction of the heart's electrical depolarization is captured at the moment throughout the cardiac cycle. Generally, when we can discuss the block diagram of ECG, then it consists of different sections such as lead selectors, then preamplifier, power amplifier, bridge output circuit, then auxiliary circuit, chart transport motor, frequency selective feedback network, and the pen motor. When we want to take signals from the human body, the ECG are used and it use different types of electrodes. Generally 12 electrodes we can connect it in our body part. In this particular diagram, 6 electrodes are given, which one it is known as V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6. and these electrodes are directly connected at different location of our heart. Block diagram of ECG, in which this is RA on the right arm, which avoiding the thick muscles. LA, that means left arm, in the same location where RA was placed but on the left arm. Then RL, LL, V1, V2, V3 up to V6. All these are different types of electrode which we can connect it to the different part of the heart. Then electrocardiography. This is the diagram of electrocardiogram ECG. That means in this particular graph we can in see that these are the different peaks. That means P, Q, R, S, and T. These are the different positions of the electrodes. Then these are the different types of leads which we can connect it to the different parts of the body. Then